In the home stretch, 2 weeks left, 3 games. So I thought our guys gave great effort at Fresno. I just didn't think our offense was as fluid as it had been in a couple games before. Really proud of the guys though, because with everything they've had to deal with, they've won 7 of the last 10, which is really good. We've done really well on the road, and we've played a little bit better at home like we did against Boise. So we're looking forward to the Colorado State game. I think the biggest thing that we have to improve on to go forward and get to where we need to go as a team, I think if you look at our 3 losses or 6 losses, or it's whatever I think if you look at them, we've been giving up 40 points in the second half. And when you do that, that's hard for us. So we have to get better defensively in the second half of games. So that's a thing where guys are playing new roles, guys are playing different minutes, guys are having new assignments. We're playing defense differently, not playing as much zone, different pick and roll coverages, guys in different spots. So it's a work in progress. It's hard to say a work in progress because you're 26 games in, 27 games in, but it is what it is with our team. But I thought our guys have done everything I've asked them to do. The Colorado State game is going to be a challenge. Clavel's playing really, really well, and Manuel's a really good player. He's scoring it at a high clip. He's 11 rebounds a game, 17 points, shooting a 3 well, not posting as much, but they're not getting as much transition points as they have in the past because they've got 7 guys. Nixon is a tremendous guard, so we'll have our work cut out, but I think our guys are ready and looking forward to it.
Talk to you guys at all about, just make sure everybody's kind of cool and everything, because of the little rivalry thing that popped up in the last game? Or?
No, I haven't talked to him about it. It's another – we're going forward. I'm not going to look back.
Okay.
I mean, it does no good to look back. It does no good for us to talk about it. It does us no good to dwell on it. It was an unfortunate situation for both schools, and we're going forward. At least this school is. I don't know what they're doing.
Coach, do you have to say anything about how important this game is as far
Well, I
as
think the biggest thing is I think our guys, it's been written, and I think people have said it, that, probably the regular season's out of question. It's fair. But I think you're playing for seeding. I think you're playing for getting momentum. We haven't had an at-large bid in 3 years in our league. So they're not going to have one this year. So we have to play for momentum. We got to try to win the next 3 games. We got 2 of them at home. One of them's senior night. One of them's against a team that's tied for first place. Another one's against a very tough, difficult opponent that plays in Laramie that's very difficult to play at their facility in Laramie, and Alan's done a really good job. So we've talked about it. We met last night. I've explained it to them. The only good thing is if we could win tomorrow, we have the tiebreaker over Boise and Colorado State, and anything could happen. So that's been my message to our guys. But with the circumstances, I think our guys have played at a high level. I think they've went on the fly and adjustments and done an outstanding job for what our circumstance as a team's been.
Okay, I'm sorry, Jeff. Go ahead.
I was going to say, you're not dwelling on it, so I won't ask about specifics about what happened the first time, but it was an emotional game. Are you comfortable with your team playing in such an emotional game? Would you rather them play more composed or with the emotion that was played with in that first game?
I don't understand your question. The emotion happened in the last minute and after the game, so there was no game emotion that was played.
You don't think there was an emotional game before that final minute?
No, I don't.
Do you?
I think 2 teams played very, very hard, but I don't think anything emotional happened till the last minute when Joe set the screen, and then after the game. So I don't know what game you were watching, but that's what I watched, and I watched it 3 times yesterday.
Well, the game I was watching started with preseason or pregame trash talk about coaching.
But I didn't know about that. I didn't know about that till after.
No balls. No balls.
I know, but I don't know any about that stuff. I'm not out there. I wasn't out there for what happened. Okay, it was a very emotional game. I want my team to play with emotion. I want my team to play with passion. My team has to play like they're playing for the championship every game. Doesn't matter who they play, who they're played against, what team they line up against, what team shows up to play us. They have to play like it's the last time they can play. If that's playing with a lot of emotion and a lot of passion, then that's what I want them to do.
Are you surprised that, every week I was asking you, are you surprised the conference race is still open? The conference race is still open, and every week I've been asking you that.
It's still open.
I know. Has this been like the strangest year ever, or?
Well, I just think there's pretty good teams. I know there's great coaches, so I think there's teams that can win on any given night. I think the unique thing is if you go back over the last few years on scheduling in our conference, and I think there's a pretty good antidote to why there's been certain league champions and certain teams that have been seeded where they were in a tournament and what's happened with the tournament. That you have to take a serious look at. But this year, I just think there's a very good pool of talent. I think there's a very good pool of teams, and I think anybody can beat anybody on any given day, and I think that's shown. I think that's happened to us twice at home, and I think it's shown that people that have won games in the league this year and won games on the road this year. So I think it's been pretty balanced just because I think the teams, everybody can say what they want about our leagues down. I don't believe in that. I just think that it is what it is. And we have to accept that.
Coach, do you need to pick up Clavel earlier than you might just
No.
because of his range?
No, I'm not going to pick him up earlier because you give him more wood to score on. Why would you give a guy more space to go by you? We'll have to pick him up and guard him on the line, but I'm not going to give a guy that can score it going to the basket and from the three-point line, I'm not going to give him more space to go by us. The key to this game is going to be, are we going to be able to control offensive rebounding for them? We have to defensive rebound. And are we going to put them on the foul line? If we put them on the foul line 39 times, like we did Fresno with 33 or whatever we put them on the line, we're going to have a hard time. We're going to have a hard time winning those games if we put people on the line like that. But, yeah, I can see, but I'm not going to give him more wood to beat us on the dribble drive and put us in a disadvantage on penetration.
You need to have your shoes above the three-point line?
Yeah, but that's our principles anyway. 2 feet above the three-point line. Our whole thing with three-point shooting is, okay, if they get an offensive rebound, we've been killed on offensive rebound, kick out for three. And then we've really improved in the sense of urgency to get there on the catch. And I think our guys have improved on that.
Do you do anything different with a team that has 7 scholarship players? Such a short bench. Is there anything that you guys try and do to take advantage of that, or is that? Well,
I think we're going to play our pace. I think we'll play our pace and see what happens. But, I think, I've been on teams where we've played 7. I've been on teams when we played 12. I've been on teams where we played 10. So, it just depends. I think they've trained to do it. I think they've done a good job. I think they've won a lot of games, and I think they're pretty good at it. So, seven's a good number. Sometimes you don't have to worry about a lot of things that other coaches have to worry about.
How's Tim doing?
Tim's in a boot. He's able to work out of the boot, but the workout consists of lifting and bike. He'll have an X-ray on the 27th, and then that'll decide if he comes out of the boot. So, everybody thinks he's coming back, and we'd love for him to come back. But if he gets out of the boot on the 27th, that's the last week of the season, and we play conference next Wednesday. So it's going to be pretty difficult for a guy that's missed 27 days. We've had our 2 best players miss almost 27 days for us. Elijah, no games, no practice. No games, but 27 days of training for our team. And then Tim, 27 days is the end of the season. So it's been difficult, but our guys are doing well. They're doing the best they can do and playing at a pretty good level.
Colorado State, they won 7 out of 8, and you did mention Emmanuel and Fabo, but there's got to be more than that. Who else is surprising you that maybe are surprising everybody? It can't be just a two-man team there.
Well,
There
I
must be
think
some other
I think
reasons.
Nixon's playing well. I mentioned him. He's good. He's a really good guard. I think they get a lot of stuff from him. I think he's good, and I think Page has picked up his game. I think Page is able to score in transition. I think he's shot the ball a lot better. He's made some threes. He runs their team. So with those four guys, they're pretty good.
Are you surprised at all to see how Colorado State's doing this season?
No, I thought they would do good because anytime you have a 1-2 punch like Clavel and Amagbo, you can be successful. And I thought, when we had Tim and Elijah, we got off to a slow start, but then we started turning it on. Then Tim got hurt. So anytime you have a 1-2 punch, I think if you look at all the good teams in our league and in our league in the past, if you go into last year, excuse me. You got Marvell Harris that was at Fresno. San Diego State's always had the usual suspects. Wyoming had Josh Adams and Nance. And we had Cam and Kendall. And, you can go down. If you have two guys like that, you can be real successful.
Anything else?
Everybody good? Thanks.
Coach,